Hey, everybody. You're listening to The Champions. My name's Neal Brennan. Hey, so go to audiblepodcast.com/thechamps and you'll get a free audiobook download for your troubles, makes us look good, etc., etc. Couple good things to do. Mindy Kaling's book, Is Everybody Hanging Out Without Me, as read by her, is a funny book. I read that a while ago. Keith Richards' book, supposed to be dope, read by Johnny Depp. Clive Davis has a book. Adam Carolla has a book. Tina Fey has a book. Fucking Moshe has a book. Go to audiblepodcast.com/thechamps. Free audiobook download. Get started with those people. They're good people. They read books to you. Because you're not smart, man. Otherwise, you'd be able to read books with your eyes instead of just reading with your ears, which is what audiobooks do. No, but it's good. Audiobooks are good. You drive, you work out, whatever. And like I said, tons of good books. So go to audiblepodcast.com/thechamps and fuck with Audible. Now, some dates. On March 12th, I'll be in Grand Rapids with Natasha Leggero. On March 16th, I will be in Boston by myself. Also, March 7th, 8th, and 9th, which I should have said before Boston, I'm going to be in Tacoma, Washington. And then I'm also going to be at the Moon Tower Festival, whenever that is.
Hi,
Boston.
everybody.
I can do that too.
It's me, Moshe. How's it going? It's the Champs. It's about to start. Hey, I'll be at Caroline's on Broadway in Times Square, New York, also with Natasha Leggero. That's March 14th through the 18th. April Fool's Day, I'll be at One Eye Jack's in New Orleans, Louisiana. Go fuck yourself, Doug. And on I'll be doing a whole slew of dates with Aziz right around that time, so you can check out my website for an update, moshekasher.com.
Dates? I'm here. Hey, what's up? It's Aisha Tyler. I've got dates. I got dates for your ass. First of all, I'm doing a special crossover episode of Girl on Guy versus Smodcast tomorrow, Tuesday, whatever the number is that coordinates with Tuesday that's about to come up. That's the 5th. So listen to that. Listen to Kevin talk for 2 hours instead of 1 on both of our shows. And then you can see me at South by Southwest. I'm closing the interactive session. That is on Tuesday, March 12th. So come see that. And then go to AishaTyler.com and click on Aisha on Tour to see Archer live dates. We're going to be in New York, Chicago, and Minneapolis in April. And then I will be shooting Whose Line Is It Anyway and not touring again until May. But if you just visit AishaTyler.com, you can see what's going on over there. The dates are on there.
Hey, let's start the show.
Now you're fucking with the champ.
Oh, that was truly amazing.
Adorable. That was adorable.
Hi, everybody. It's your favorite podcast, The
I
Champs.
thought it was badass. I didn't think it was cute at all. I thought that shit was vicious.
I
thought that shit was some real... Doug brought some real street
Can
shit.
I say that there's nothing more vicious than seeing an adorable white guy with a kind of a side bang scratching on his iPad, on his computer touchpad?
Don't tell them with a visual what it looks like.
Aisha, none of our listeners know what Doug looks like.
I have two 1200 techniques here.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's a black dude, big black guy.
He looks like a combination of Ron Funches and Reggie Watts.
Yeah.
He's whipping on wax. Sorry about that.
So everybody, it's the Champs once again. We got an exciting episode. It's been a minute.
Been a while, guys.
It's me.
we say that every episode.
It's been a while. We're about that's gonna change, though. We also say that too.
Are you guys taking like intermittent breaks? You post
we
every
don't.
third
It's
week?
because of who we book.
Mm-hmm.
Stop it.
Black people.
Well, yeah, we're difficult. We don't show up.
No.
We're difficult too, though.
So racist, early. It's great.
I'm on more CPT than anybody.
You are actually BTW.
Yeah.
You are
Neal was an hour late.
Excellent today.
I realize what it is. It's in me to assume CPT.
Oh,
Well,
so you're blaming the oppressed for the
You didn't assume CPT. You assumed like island time or like I'm an Eskimo
crazy.
and I had to get here on a dead whale because you were an hour late. CP time is 15 minutes.
I was
bro.
45 late.
You were so late.
I assume because I fuck with a lot of black people and I just assume I've been burnt so many times.
You can't blame others.
Look, I just did.
I guess you could.
He didn't just blame others. He blamed the whole race.
No.
Entire
I just did
whole race.
successfully.
Thank God there are enough of us where we can can all carry a little bit of the burden here.
I've been Jewed so many times that I walk into negotiations assuming.
Yeah, if you go into negotiations, once bitten, twice shy.
I don't think anyone's saying that anymore. I think the term is Jewed down.
He's very.
Oh, that's the more appropriate term.
Let's not be racist.
Very paranoid.
It's a Jewed down.
He's very paranoid.
I actually
about
have
that.
never heard disturbing news. That ever like that phrase. Like I would be so offended.
Oh, you've never heard someone use it for real?
I've heard it. Never heard anybody use it for real in the real world.
Oh, I have.
Really?
Sure.
I think I would lose my mind.
That's the thing about being Jewish is that you're the one race that people say racist things about, that they'll say it like right in front of
to
you
their face,
thinking that they're not saying it in front of you. You know what I mean?
Because no one's going to.
Because a lot of y'all are trying to pass.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's it. And no one's ever going to struggle to figure out if I'm black or not. Like, can I say this? Right. Can I say that in front of her? She might be black.
If you hear a racial slur, they meant you to hear it.
Right.
But for me, I've heard many times. I'll be like, no, I don't like that. I'm actually.
You might not have been able to tell.
You'll dip your head down and show your yarmulke.
Just payas come out of your beret.
I don't know if you can tell, but I don't appreciate such things.
My mother is super light skinned. She's like, very, very light. And one of my best friends is like light skinned.
Yeah.
And people have said things about black people in front of her, not knowing that she's black, and that's always a good time as well.
Okay.
When she produces a picture of me, Negroes.
Why women make me real nervous?
Do people ever assume because you're culturally white?
I love that's not a question. That was a statement.
No. I've been following.
Yes. I'm just okay. Well, I'm sticking with you. Go for it. Okay.
I've been knowing you.
It's the
girl.
Ivy League education.
Yeah,
yes.
Ivy League.
What are you gonna do?
So do people? Do you find that people will say things like ghetto around you, thinking that somehow you'll be on the cultural side?
It hasn't happened in my adult life, but when I was a kid, and I just had Jesse Williams on my show, and we had the conversation where people would say, "Well, you're black, but you're not a nigger."
Right.
Whoa, that's the conversation you had.
Your whiteness sickens me.
I've heard that probably 50 times when I was a kid.
You're not a nigger?
Yeah, you're black, but you're different. You're not a nigger. You're different. And what's so funny was that it ended up being like 20 minutes of Chris Rock's act. You know what I mean? Was that whole concept?
Sure, right.
But that never came from a black person in my life. It was always from white people.
Right.
And Jesse said that Jesse Williams, you don't know him, he's a very good-looking, light-skinned black guy who was on Grey's Anatomy.
Oh wait, I'm thinking the other guy.
Grey's Anatomy. And he said people said to him, "You're not black. You're great."
Wow, that's funny.
Right? That's fucking hilarious. That like the antonym, right? Is awful of black. Yeah, so that I enjoyed that one as well.
Wait, did we even introduce you yet?
No.
Nah,
Hi,
man.
what's up? It's Aisha
no,
Tyler.
we don't do.
Oh yeah. Well, you already did it yourself.
I did it. I did my dates.
Well, yeah, that's true. Well, all right. Who
It's Aisha
cares?
Tyler.
Yeah, it's like
from before.
As unceremoniously as these people are in my
that's the only family I
my
have.
space.
from the talk, from Archer, from Talk Soup, from now a big announcement.
Yeah.
You were just got the job of hosting the new iteration of Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
Do
very
you have
exciting.
to set the bits up?
Yeah, I mean,
You're sitting
taking
at
over
the
for
table?
Drew. Yeah, I'm taking over for Drew.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
So
we'll
you sit
see.
there at the desk and kind of
And
judge.
I lord over everything.
It's pretty cool.
While I think about how rich I am, which is what Drew think about all my piles of money.
Don't slough that off on the Drew. You can do it too.
I honestly have been to Drew's house. There's no way I'm even close to as wealthy as he is. No way. There's no way.
He's
No.
he's also had what he had a network sitcom for 12
for 10 seasons, and that he created.
You want to know how long I've been in show business?
Tell us.
I remember being at the Improv in 1995, and Drew Carey said to Dave Chappelle, "I hope your show doesn't get picked up so mine does."
Was he serious?
Yeah, he was serious. It was like one of those things. It's like, ugh. And I think Dave gave him a look, and Drew was like, "I'm just being honest, man." But yeah,
That's like back to your conversation about you're black, but you're not. You're great.
No,
Look, I'm just being honest. I can say whatever I want. It's honest.
It's true, isn't it?
It's true for me.
It's true.
And so,
that's I don't know why I think that's so funny that it's so comical that someone would think that and then say it.
I think people naturally think it.
Of
well,
course
what do you
they
think?
do.
Do you think that there are two schools of thought? That there's plenty of work for everybody,
I think there's plenty of work for everybody.
Really? Why are so many people out of work?
Well,
That felt like you were setting her up.
I guess
Well, there's
fell
two
right
schools
in
of
there.
thought. Yeah, it's either
Like a
there.
sinkhole and
Sometimes
like
I think there's plenty of work for everybody. If you're talented, you work. And then there's other times where I'm like,
Why does Drew
there's
Carey have to have so many jobs? I mean, it's cool that he's given one to you. He has them all.
Fair
He has
too.
most
He has
of
a
them.
lot of jobs, but to be fair, so do I. I have probably all of the jobs.
You guys are
and
job
I'm a
hogs.
grubby motherfucker. Yeah, I agree. I'm
But
an
you've
asshole.
done a lot of very cool shit too. So it's like
I also was hungry for a long motherfucking time.
Right.
Like credit card to pay credit card to standing inside my house crying hysterically because I wanted to set my house on fire.
And that's,
broke.
Was that in L.A.? Mm-hmm. So you came down here and you had a moment where you thought, because everybody I feel like that moves to L.A. to try to make it in show business has a moment where they think, oh, I made a huge fucking mistake.
I was like, we're setting this fucking thing on fire and we're leaving. Like we're gonna burn this down. Maybe we'll get some money from the insurance company and fuck this noise.
I remember I had a moment in my car where someone at oh, actually, I think it's your manager. Actually, had passed on repping me.
Oh no!
It was like within my first 4 months of being here, and I
he really likes you though. He talks about you all the time.
Oh,
I was willing
he
to
fucked
die.
up. I'm sure he thinks every day about how he fucks up. He probably looks at my website, shaking his head and weeping. But I had this moment in my car. I called my brother, and I was just like, I don't know what the fuck I was thinking coming down here. This is fucking horrible.
Yeah.
I made a huge mistake. I need to go home.
Yeah.
Just like
everybody has that. Everybody has that. Yeah.
Except
yeah,
Neal,
fuck
did
yeah.
You don't have
Neal
to
never
run
had
away
it.
from
Yeah.
life your whole life.
comedy's the only job where you wake up and go, I cannot do my job.
Yeah, I can't. I hate my job.
That's the
or
only
my job
job
makes
where you
me
wake
hate
up and say that.
myself.
I doubt
Pilots
it.
know how to be a pilot.
Right. Well,
doctors know medicine. Like, I literally wake up going, I don't know if I'm going to be funny today.
But I think to that point, it's rare that you wake up in the morning and you've forgotten how to fly a plane, or you're thinking I'm going to get up there and somehow things are going to align in a way where all of a sudden all of my skills, I'm going to bring the same skills I bring to work every day, and then this is the day my skills don't work.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
I see
exactly.
Somebody didn't see the movie Flight, an inspirational film.
Yeah, man.
That's the problem with comedy.
Yeah.
Right.
Is you wake up. And then I had the thought recently, like, well,
Punishing
you've been
self-doubt.
funny 4,000 days in a row.
Yeah.
So why would today be any different? It's like, well, it just might be. And that's the opposite of.
Let's talk about you and your psychological problems.
Yeah, go ahead.
Why? Because you probably knew. I'm 20 now. I've been doing comedy for 20 years.
Right.
And so I've stopped having. I had two big.
I remember seeing you MC at the Laugh Factory 20
years ago.
Yeah.
Exactly. I had two big growing pains periods. One where I had to like throw my whole act out and start from the beginning.
How come?
It just stopped working. It just stopped working, and I hated myself and I hated my act, and I didn't know why. And then, so what I did was I threw it away and I wrote everything over
The
again
whole
from scratch.
act,
my whole
without
act.
doing anything.
No, I throw everything out. I've done that twice.
How do you explain that?
The first time, I don't know, I stopped loving it maybe, or I was listening too much to what other people were telling me, and I was trying to turn my act into like a TV, like a sitcom pitch, so it didn't feel like natural or organic to me anymore. It just felt like a bunch of shit I said.
So you were it was stuff that was true and stuff and jokes that worked at some point.
At some point, but the less I liked them, the less I liked doing them, the less funny I got.
Right.
And then the second time was the same thing. I just I stopped liking my act. I got sick of it, and it made me doubt myself and made me doubt whether I was funny. And both times I just threw everything away.
If you don't
and
believe
started
what you're
over.
saying, you got to throw it away.
Yeah. Well, you got to be. I mean, you got to bound up there. Like you got to run up on stage and be like, I can't fucking wait to say this shit to you people.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that, they feel it. I think material is important. I don't think it's as important as control and confidence.
Yeah.
That everybody looks at you and they see in your eyes, this motherfucker's not going to run the bus off the road.
Well,
if they know you're in control, it doesn't matter what. I mean,
I caught a bad one last night, by the way.
Oh,
did you? Bad audience?
FYI.
What happened?
Well, that's the thing. I was thinking like. Power is the unspoken commodity in comedy.
Absolutely.
Material and persona is great, but no one talks about power and control.
It's
what happened.
You caught a bad what?
You
crowd?
It's set. It's you are basically walking up to a group of 300 drunk strangers and going like, I'm in charge now.
Yeah. I'm in charge. You don't know me.
Yes.
And I'm in charge.
But
trust me,
rest
I am in
assured,
charge.
I'm in charge. Went on to the Laugh Factory. Went on after Dane. Crushed. Great.
Sweet.
Go to the Comedy Store.
Well, you could just stop the story there. I mean, the Comedy Store sucks. Like
The Comedy Store is the
50%
worst
of the time.
place
No,
in the fucking where
agreed, but that was
souls
the thing.
go to
But
die
it was the
again.
first time I just was straight up eating shit.
it was a soul crusher.
And
No?
and I didn't short circuit.
Oh,
See,
that's
that
great.
was what I was going to say was that you've been doing comedy this long. I haven't had a really bad set in a long time, but I kind of feel like I've had enough bad sets that I would be like, that was a bad set.
Yeah,
and
you know what I mean?
clearly it's a bad set.
Clearly, it's your fault. I mean, that I worked on that for a solid year. Was finding a way to have fun on stage,
Even if the set was bad.
the set was not going my way.
Oh, it's fucking hilarious when you have a bad set.
Yeah.
If you're in the mind frame where you're still enjoying yourself,
Right.
you
The
can do it.
problem was my girlfriend was there with
that's
3
never
of her
good.
friends.
Boo.
Which was like fucking
Maybe
hilarious.
that's why you had a bad
Maybe.
set.
I was also the comedy, the comedy store.
Because your girlfriend's a cooler.
The comedy store.
She's a cooler.
She's a cooler.
The first 4 times she saw me do stand-up, I didn't do well. To the
Yeah.
point where I was like, I'm actually good.
I've had albatrosses like that.
Yeah.
I've had like certain comics when they'd walk in the room, I'd be like, fuck.
There's some people that are coolers, man.
For a while, when Chris Fairbanks would walk into a room, I'd be like, damn it, I'm going to have a bad set. And then finally you have the one good set.
Who's Chris Fairbanks?
He's another comedian. But it was just like, a comic that
Was
you
it
never...
just a jinx?
It was just a jinx.
Because I think we're all like, non-athletic baseball players. It's
Right.
like, the humidity's too high. I have the wrong socks on. I should have pissed on the left side of the toilet.
Yeah.
I'm going to fucking have a terrible game.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it throws you because it's all mental. The whole thing is fucking mental.
I
Also-
remember when I first started having kind of exciting things happen in my career. The first showcase, it was I think a Comedy Central showcase. I didn't run that day, and I ate this particular vegan dish at this restaurant. And then it was for callback. I did the same thing, and then the third or fourth time I did that, I thought I have to break this because I'll be 20
You
years
have
in.
to break it.
Exactly.
I wore the same.
I'm a man. I'm not an ape. I'm a real person.
That's me, by the way.
I feel BTW that I'm trapped inside a disturbing fucking mixtape. So
You are.
That like for the first I had a good set in a denim shirt. And then I wore that denim shirt like every set for like 2 years until I don't know if you probably started after this, but the guy who ran the Punchline in San Francisco before Molly was this guy named Hutch.
Oh, I've
and
heard
he
about
was
him.
like, "You got to stop wearing that fucking shirt. Like this is not okay."
Your comedy shirt?
Yeah, it was my comedy shirt. It was it was my fucking comedy shirt. I couldn't do it. I couldn't. I had
really
my
funny.
notes in there and they fit perfectly. My pen would stick out. I mean, what an idiot.
So what did you grow up? What did you grow up like? What was it all about?
Big and black.
From the beginning?
Bam, just from coming out the
Baby.
chute, just
Baby
fucking
style.
6 feet tall. Rawr.
You came out full height, but you had to grow sideways.
Just long. It was an easy birth though.
like
Like
a
I
magic
laid out
trick.
like a pencil.
And full baby. She looked like a baby face.
Giant baby.
Like sort of
6 foot
chubby
baby.
ass, chubby cheeks.
Your mom would wrap you around the stick.
Where you from?
Yeah. Poor.
Where you from?
Weird nerd.
And in San Francisco or in Oakland?
I was born in San Francisco, and then like kind of grade school, East Bay, and then back to San Francisco for middle school and high school.
Now, our listeners may not know this, but I actually am also from the East Bay.
Wait, what?
I'm from Oakland. Actually. What? I've never mentioned.
Has
I'm in
anybody?
Oakland
Do you
right now.
know the thing about Moshe being
So,
from Oakland?
how did you start? What was your start in comedy?
In stand-up?
What was the?
I did like sketch and improv in high school and college, and then stopped. I was going to be a lawyer because I had like super,
You're a tall black woman.
I'm
You
a tall
gotta
black
be a
woman.
lawyer.
Look at me. I mean, come on, Boston.
You're
Legal,
great.
This bitch.
You're not black. You're great.
Great.
Right, you're
you
tall-
could be a lawyer.
you're a tall, great
totally
woman.
Great. And I mean, there's other people that are great, like you, Will Smith. So
That's pretty much it, though. I'm
that's
actually at the end of the list.
The president. So and then I was just working and like insanely miserable. And I was like trying to figure out like what had changed. I was like, what's, you know what I mean? You're like what's missing? Why all of a sudden do I have a tummy ache? And it was because I wasn't performing anymore. So
And you had a terrible,
I was a comedian.
and I had
terrible UTI.
yeah,
as well.
it's celiac disease. And I was like, well, I got to get back on stage. What can I do? I mean, I don't have like a great origin story. I wasn't like, and then I listened to my Bill Cosby album 100 times. No, it was like there was this the precursor to Comedy Central was this network called Ha. And it was just like, one night stand, fucking over and over again, guy in front of a brick wall, and I was watching it, and I was like,
Right.
I could do that. So I just started writing joke ideas down in a notebook.
Did you grow up with that? Your that vibe of you're not black, you're great kind of situation? Did that start when you were?
Yeah, I was the only black kid in my school until high school. So yes, heard it constantly.
I have a theory that I've never thought before, and I
Okay.
want to share.
It's
Please bring
exciting.
it out.
I have
Bring it
a
out.
racial theory,
Bring it out.
and at this stage,
You
of the
have a
game,
racial
for
Let
me
me
to have
say
a new.
BTW. Anytime someone starts with "I have a racial theory," it's probably not going to
You
end well.
tune
But
in.
it's going to
You
go.
tune
I mean,
in.
I'm not gonna-
theory.
Let us go to my
I
bell.
have okay. You would be
Hear me
considered-
out on this one.
Come on, stick with me here. Guys,
No,
come on.
this
This isn't
interesting
racist.
theory.
Wait,
This is an
hang
interesting-
on.
No, it's not racist. It's actually just it's
racial.
It's observation. Yeah.
And great.
Look, I've made my bones on this.
Yeah.
On what?
On fucking
on the backs
racial
of
shit.
Negroes. On the
racial
backs
shit.
of the
Literal
Negro.
bones.
Literal
Usually-
bones.
I've made my bones on the bones of black
yes,
people.
there you
I think
go.
crazy racial shit and convince black people
Much
to say
like
it
the
on
White
my
House,
behalf.
my career has been built on the back of Negroes. So let's do this.
All right. Like you would be considered an outlier. You'd be considered you're a Ivy League black person, right?
Yeah, there are several of us, but yes,
no,
I
I
would consider
understand.
myself
but
an outlier.
whatever,
Absolutely.
like culturally white, like whatever
Yes,
you want to call it.
whatever it is.
Oreo, as they used to call it in
Oh,
1991.
God.
Remember
I
Oreo?
think it was earlier than 1991. I feel it was like 1980.
Blue
Yeah,
Ivy
80.
League.
You know, you would be considered someone without an identity. A loner, a person that does not know themselves. Perhaps a person with low self-esteem and no self-identity. Go ahead, Neal.
Now you okay? Now
Lost,
and so
alone,
you stick out.
wandering in the desert.
Perhaps
You
a ghost.
stick out.
Not there, no, not there.
You stick out as a black person in a white world.
Okay.
Now the white
I'm
proportionally.
not stipulating. I'm just
Yes.
listening.
No, listen. Okay, now
listening.
I'll let you know when it's your time to respond.
Damn it.
Listen here, Brownie. Keep it
you're-
down.
Yeah, I'm downgrading you from gray to black. Okay.
That's an upgrade, motherfucker.
Yeah. Okay. So So you're an outlier in the black community. So
I'm
you're
sweating, by
You're
the way.
one
I'm
of the.
super hot
no,
in
of
here.
course, this is-
I
this
turned
is
off
why-
the air
it's
and
not
it's very
good.
warm.
It's
You're
not
sweating
good.
because of the racism?
Just turn it on. We're not going to hear it.
I always
He's
sweat
having
when it's
the
racist,
liberal.
too.
He's having the liberal white shivers.
No, I
right
am.
now.
I might have a stroke.
He freaks out whenever somebody speaks with
I have a race theory.
anybody speaks with any candor about race
Go
or
ahead.
has an interesting
And yet I
racial
do.
theory.
I co-host the Chance
Yeah, I know.
podcast.
I know. And every week you put yourself through this.
You put me
Get
through it.
racist about it.
Okay.
So what's the theory?
The theory is you are no different. So you're considered a smart black person, right? Proportionally, per capita, what I had just had the thought is there are just as many smart black people as there are smart white people. There's just way more white people in America. So the people that stand out in the black community the difference between you, an Ivy League black person, and a quote unquote ghetto black person is really no different than the difference between a smart white person and a white trash person.
Well, that's an interesting theory, but it leaves out the reality of the poverty differential. The white.
Well, and I would even actually say poverty differential is important, but I think the access differential is the biggest one.
no,
Poverty
absolutely.
differential is a factor of access.
Like
There's a
there's a higher percentage of white people that have access.
Agreed.
To,
but I think, but it's the same. I would put that into the theory, and I would say that because I don't think poor white trash people have a lot of access to good education.
No, I
either.
agree.
You know what I mean? So, having said that, there is a big.
There's a higher proportion of black people in poverty
yes.
because of a history of denial of access.
Yes.
More of them would be out of poverty and have better access if they hadn't been pushed
Yes.
out of. Yes.
There is and because of that, there's more of a white middle class educationally than there's a black middle class.
Well, this
it
is
seems
what-
like it's feast or famine in a very real
I want
way.
you to know that came in like a lion and went out
like a lamb.
But I
yes.
enjoyed it. I enjoyed
and
it.
that's,
It was
for a
thinky.
black person to know that phrase is a real test.
It's good, right? I'm great. Am I
Back to
back to
lion.
great?
Back
Back
to
to great.
lion.
Back to lion.
You've been
Back
upgraded.
to lions are assholes.
But I actually have always been sort of fascinated with the idea of the person whose society identifies as like the great.
Right.
And the fact that you still walk through the world as a woman of color, like that is a true.
Right, it's a little bit of a rock and a hard place. I mean, it was when I was younger, right? Because the white kids didn't accept me because I was black, and the black kids didn't accept me because they thought I was white.
Right.
So I was not like, it wasn't like the white people were like, well, we'll take you. You know what I mean? It was like I really was an outlier in the true sense of the word. I was also incredibly bookish. My parents didn't believe in television. I was obsessed with fucking science fiction, and I had glasses, and I was like a science fair queen. So
Right.
yeah, I didn't have any friends at all.
Yeah, it's like you don't get a free pass on the racism of society because
You're a smart black person.
they don't go, oh, you're good.
Did you see that Makers thing this week? That thing on PBS?
No.
It's basically about feminist icons and feminism and kind of the history of feminism.
Interesting.
And it was the first time I'd really watched really thought of women as
People.
as human beings.
1 second.
Not a hole, not just a hole.
Just a hole
Yeah, holes
and a
hit tits
couple
hole.
of titties.
Yeah.
And it occurs to
And then
me.
there's another hole.
And
Actually.
watching
Two
it.
holes and some titties. Okay.
Yeah.
They're almost like people.
They're almost like real people.
Yeah.
What?
That's
That's how special you are to me, and that's how much I love you.
have feelings.
No, and so I was talking to my girlfriend who's Native American about Who
adding
has
to
it?
his racial
Who has
card.
it? And look,
I'm
about who's got it.
I'm liberated enough to fuck a brown girl.
Who's got it
all right,
worse?
let me just say.
Like in terms of the hierarchy, like women, black, and you can go worldwide with this if you want.
Mm-hmm.
Women, black people, Native Americans, Latino. Like in terms of oppressed minority, because the thing with women
or domestically, globally, Native Americans are fucked up. There's like 3 of them left.
What? Yeah.
So,
one of them is going out with Neal Brennan.
So she's screwed. I mean, but she's not Native American. She's just great.
And I'm not.
So there's like 2 left.
No, she's great spirit.
And then the 2 that are left are drunk and living on a reservation. So yeah, Native Americans.
So much for racism. Anyhow, go ahead.
Boom.
So ladies and gentlemen,
we've laid waste to all conversational taboos.
Too. So yeah, they really got the short end because at least black people. I mean, it was terrible. Everything that the diaspora and slavery were terrible, but a lot of us lived through it. You know what I mean? Native Americans did not live through their Holocaust. There's the 10 of them.
But having said that, they did get reparations, whereas black people never had.
That's true. That's true.
Which we spoke in the last podcast. But I guess it's like, where do women come into this in terms of just like rights? Because it's like women got the right to vote in 1913.
Right. Globally, women are screwed.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely screwed. I mean, when you talk about places and where women are just the female babies are killed. Girls are sold into sex slavery at the age of 5 and 6, and then or their genitals are
they're 9 and plumper.
Just until they have breasts. Yeah. Or you have places where their genitals are cut off with like a rusty piece of metal. Yeah. Women have it terribly all over the world, regardless of color.
Right.
Yeah.
So women are fucked.
Yeah, globally,
totally.
Yeah,
literally,
kept illiterate.
Figuratively. Yeah, I mean, just pieces of property. Or like a girl gets stoned. You guys heard this story. There's been a million of them, but it was like northern Iraq, maybe northern Pakistan, where a girl was living with her sister's family, and the husband of the sister was looking at her sexually. He decided he wanted to rape her. She's like 13. He decided he wanted to rape her. So he rapes her. Then the wife kills the 13-year-old girl.
The girl for
getting raped. That's pretty typical in that part of the world. It's
pretty intense.
And now I'm going to say something super racist, but fuck those people. I'm not saying fuck all Arabs. I'm saying just fuck that whole fucking worldview. Fuck that. I don't want to be culturally sensitive about it. If you're living in a culture where it's okay to kill a girl for being raped by her fucking brother, her 50 or 60-year-old brother-in-law, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, but what do you say? You want to talk about it? But then that gets into access.
I just have to say
that's not access.
No, but I'm talking about culturally. It's cultural access. It's just like they're fucking tribal people.
Well, tribalism is a terrible
thing. They don't have anything.
Tribalism everywhere is terrible.
They're fucking. It's like Bill Maher does a joke about we're bringing Afghanistan into the 13th century.
But it's exactly right.
It's so fucking old.
Don't say what you're going to say because I need to say what I have to say so much more, and then you can say what you say after.
Is this Neal Brennan's internal monologue right now? That's crazy.
Which is, and some people are going to be mad at me. It's not about race; it's about culture, and that particular culture, that cultural attitude, is fucking bullshit. But I had a conversation with someone where I said, every other Western culture or moderately Western culture has gone through some kind of a cultural reformation, right? Western Europe's gone through it. The United States has gone through it, where people wake up. So there's the Arab Spring is happening now, so they're in the beginning of it. But you're right; they're in the beginning of their renaissance.
Let me say that the Arab Spring has nothing to do with feminism whatsoever.
No.
It's pretty much going further into radicalism in terms of Islam.
Well, there's a split, but for me, the part of the Arab Spring that's interesting is access to information. People waking up and getting connected to cultures and attitudes and ideas outside of their own, because insularity, right, and parochialism is what reinforces shitty cultural ideas. So feminism is late. Feminism is always late. Women got the vote after, way fucking after everybody else.
Well, yeah, I think the thing is, in the Arab world, a lot of these regimes that they're overturning are regimes that, on paper, are more sexually progressive. I mean, gender-wise progressive than the incoming regime. So, like Saddam Hussein, who was a Ba'athist, they're socialists, so they're officially not. Islam is not officially any part of their government. Mm-hmm. So there were female doctors and blah blah blah. And now what you've got is you're back to sort of theocratic kind of
right.
weirdness.
And I think they're worried about that happening again in
it's going to happen.
Syria, like in Syria.
It's happening in Egypt. It's happening in that's
because people
almost by the numbers.
Man.
It happened
it
happened in the West Bank too, or it's happened in the Strip.
Right. We were like this was my favorite. We were like, we want free and open elections.
Yeah, we want free and open elections.
And we're like, whoops, we didn't want those guys to win.
That's the American way.
But it's different with Israel and Palestine because it's Israel.
Because Jews are
Palestine.
involved.
But anyway, just to jump.
Well, no, but someone
Is
made
your
the
show always
observation.
this thinky?
Yeah,
it
Oh,
is.
how fun.
It's also very
we
vulgar.
just kept- we
Oh,
haven't-
well,
we haven't
my
gotten-
favorite is like a dick joke right in the middle of a conversation about East-West relations.
You're a
and-
champ.
Yes, and the
You're
diaspora.
fucking
So
champ.
there you go.
Somebody made the but the thing that happened with the Hamas just is better at running elections.
Well,
They're just literally they had the infrastructure.
Well,
the way
they had the infrastructure,
Obama
right?
beat,
It wasn't. Didn't they also have like they didn't just have the infrastructure, but whether it was like kind of crazy like a Fox or just like a happy accident, they were like bringing people food and
Exactly.
blankets and fucking educate. I mean, they had like a
there's-
program
and
on the
also
ground. They had a
Will-
better ground game.
Will I Am made a video.
Oh, Will I Am was involved.
For Hamas.
Yes, we can.
Scarlett Johansson spoke.
Yeah, it was
Great
crazy.
convention. It was
I
great.
mean, yeah. Let's not even get into Israel.
And
Too complicated.
you're married.
Mm-hmm.
And how did you fall in love with your husband?
Sweet conversation.
Thank you
I
very
was
much.
fucking his best friend.
Oh, shit, that
I
is
was like,
sweet.
what? Look at that over there. I gotta give me a piece of that.
For real though, this is true.
This is moderately true. No, it is true, and it's not apocrypha. I was dating his best friend, and I got to be super close, and the best friend was like not a great boyfriend, was kind of a dick. He went away for a little while. Me and my dude looked at each other across the room, and some really bad '80s music played. And no, just sometimes you meet someone and you connect with them like super intensely, and we just got to be really good friends, and then we eventually got together. And
so the intensity didn't start at the beginning.
no, we were like just super close, but like not sexual. You know what I mean?
But like close, you can sort of feel a closeness that's
yeah,
like,
you just
needs to get fucked.
Yeah, there's that too. Who doesn't want to fuck closeness? But you ever just have somebody that you just like even since I've been married, I meet people that I don't want to have sex with, but I'm like, I just like that motherfucker so much. You just meet them and immediately like, I like you, I want to hang out with you.
Yeah.
For me and him, it was like that. I was like, I just fucking like that dude. And my friend was like, you like him. I was like, no, I just fucking like him. And then, very boring. But that was sophomore year of college. We've been together since then.
Talk yourself into wanting to have sex with him?
No. I love sex. I never need to convince myself.
No.
to
But
do
I'm
that
saying,
shit.
did you have to like talk yourself into the morality of it, or talk yourself into like making it from like liking him to like I'm gonna fuck him?
Your version of my internal voice is very funny. No, because we kind of did it the right way. Like we realized we liked each other. And then I broke up with the other guy, and then we started dating.
And
Like,
how'd
it
the
wasn't
other guy
like a
take
thing.
it?
He took it fine, whatever.
I'm fucking in, and you're fucking out.
He was in our. he was in our wedding, and he's.
Oh, he
still-
was?
Yeah, they're still good friends.
He
yeah.
was
furious the whole
He
time.
was the best. He was the
enraged.
best man that used to fuck the bride. Is that right?
Enraged.
You put him in a plexiglass case.
He had a special,
tomatoes
he had a
at him.
special tie. If you slept with the bride, you had a special color tie on to separate you from the rest of the group.
And you wore white.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
Just 'cause.
It's my fucking
You
party.
gotta wear beige in that situation.
beige.
You know.
And
Beige
how do you stay
stains.
married happily?
This is all just you
Just
kind of.
be awesome.
I just don't know how to do
No,
it.
I like the new love, Neal.
It's
I'm
nice.
not
It's sweet.
being-
It's sweet, right? These are
It
beautiful
feels like I'm
questions.
being sarcastic, but I'm not. You have love on your mind.
It's nice. Yeah, you like
thinking
your
about
girl.
it.
You like your native
Yeah, I
American
really
girl,
do.
Pocahontas.
But I just
I
yeah.
met her.
Super racist.
I met Neal's girl at a party. So
I
did
met her.
Doug.
She was. Yeah,
She's,
Doug met her.
She's bad, man.
I like you guys.
She's bad.
I like how you guys are. This is not an endorsement. You're like, I met her.
I met her.
She's a
for our-
person.
It's
I
for
saw
our
her.
listeners, you know what I mean? So it's all mystery, to them.
Yeah.
I'm saying I approve. She bad. She
Okay,
bad.
good.
she's
All right.
great
It's also 1987.
And super cool.
Fucking Richard Pryor and
I was like, hey, Jack.
Which way is up?
So swing them on by here.
when you came in, you were crying like a pussy.
What kind of woman that right there?
I don't have a trick for staying married, other than to say that I'm just nicer to him than I am to everybody else, and he's nicer to me than he is to everybody else. And
Does it come naturally?
sometimes you got to work at it, sometimes you don't. But like, I just save my best behavior for him. You know what I mean?
But you must have been hit on by so many hot guys
Constantly.
over the years. I mean, you're,
God,
right?
that was so conceited. Yeah, I get
No,
hit
it's
on.
true,
I do,
though.
but I
Of
get
course
hit on.
you
Yeah,
do.
sure.
You're-
I mean, well, that's just in this
you're
business.
very good looking.
I
You're-
Just in this
but
business, you're
the
out a
business
lot
of
with
humanity?
dudes. Yeah, it's a bit.
Fucking that too. But what I'm saying is, like, you're getting when
I'm
you're in
around
show
men a
business,
lot.
they're hot. People are getting hotter and hotter as well.
Yeah.
But
We have white people problems. That's
really do. That I feel like, God, I wish I had like a really good answer for this. I feel like marriage is fucking insanely difficult, and you'll go through periods of your life where this is the only person you ever want to see, and you can't wait to get home, and there are periods of life where you don't want to go home at all, and you have to realize that the periods of not wanting to go home at all usually pass. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that
What's the longest
you're never
one of those
not
you've
going to
had?
like fuck other people. Like I think also people think if I want to fuck other people, it means I shouldn't be with this person.
Right.
You're never not going to want to fuck other people. Just get fucking used to that feeling.
Right.
It's like being on a diet. Just get used to feeling fucking hungry. Like it's always I want to eat that shit. But you just look like eating that is going to fuck up this fucking great thing I built.
Do you? What's the longest period you've had of just I don't want to fuck with go home?
Not long. I mean, like a couple of months maybe. I mean, I didn't stay out a couple of months.
Right.
But like a couple of months where I was like, feeling ambivalent. I think everybody goes through that. You just go through periods where you're just like so into the other person, and periods where you're not.
And do you think he knew?
I'm sure he did. Yeah. We had a period where like he was a litigator and I was doing stand up, and like he would leave at 6 in the morning and be at work till 10, and I would sleep until 2 and then do stand up and stay out till 4, and we would just never see each other. And then we just were like, oh, this is going to end badly, and we just had to change things around. But there was a period where we were just kind of chugging along like that, not seeing each other. And like that was okay when it was happening, and then it wasn't okay,
Right.
Doug, you ever had a period like that?
You ever had a period?
I never had a period, no.
Because I was looking at the bang and thinking, it's adorable. It's the cutest bang. It's very
Thank
Bieber.
Dude, I'm lost.
I don't want to be Bieber.
No, but it's
Your
so
hair
cute.
looks great, Neal.
I'm lost, man.
You're
I feel
lost?
like I straight up feel like I'm doing this for you.
Aisha.
The hair?
No, okay, Aisha, hold on. You're a woman. You're a stylish,
you trying to
beautiful
get
woman
Neal
with
to get some product.
intelligent.
You want to fuck?
You got you're culturally white.
You
okay.
down to get a fuck?
For a long time, Neal had a faux hawk.
Oh, okay.
And we shamed him into moving away from that. And now we all think that he looks very handsome with the more regular head of hair.
Yeah, you look rugged. Are you like an athletic person? Yeah.
I'm pretty athletic right now.
You do. You're flexing. You're showing your guns.
Pretty athletic.
Are you like a CrossFit guy? You have like
I am.
CrossFit
I am a
haircut.
kettlebell guy.
Yeah, that's
you got
CrossFit.
that kettlebell?
That's CrossFit.
And I'm very strong right now.
Are you for real?
Yeah, I'm like for real strong. Like I can, and my ass is hard.
He's got that like wiry.
I've always wanted to be that white trash kid that just can drink
like
Mountain
crazy
Dew,
lean and like wiry.
drink Mountain Dew and Cheetos, and still be fucking can climb a fucking telephone
Scramble
pole.
up.
Who do you got in a fight? Me, Doug, or Neal? Who's the champion of the champs?
I got to give it to Neal,
God
just
damn
based
it.
on look.
For the listeners at home, Neal just smiled in such a genuine and real way.
I feel like Moshe would try to reason his way out of the fight.
I'm smiling so big I wish I could get my headshots done right now. Because they would be pretty great, guys. This sort of joy I haven't felt in a long
this fellow
time.
here's got a real, just genuine happiness in his eyes.
What
right
is he?
now.
That's
He's
fun. This
smizing
motherfucker.
right
Is he
now.
pregnant? What the fuck is he doing?
What did your girlfriend think about the hair?
She actually was. She's like, I like
You
it.
look like a grown-up.
But that's what I don't. She's
like what? The new?
She goes, it doesn't really match your spirit or your clothing.
Just to say, let me just say this.
Are you wearing Mohawk style
No, I'm
clothing?
just wearing like fucking white
Mohawk?
hip hop.
When he's
Wait,
not-
the new hair or the old hair?
Before he came, he took off his
This
T-shirt
hair,
that was
she's
pinned
like-
together with safety pins.
Yeah.
It's not quite mohawk. It's kind of like faux hawk.
All right, here's what I want to go for.
Do you have
and
an Ed
let
Hardy
me know
t-shirt?
If you let me know if you guys. There's a guy named Paul Gasol, the basketball player.
Yeah, you should
has a
definitely
brother,
look like
has
him.
a brother
He's a
named
beautiful
Mark.
guy.
He has a brother named Mark Gasol.
Not as attractive.
Way more attractive, actually.
Okay.
I'm going to bring him
the
up.
guy, is he on the Lakers?
Mark Gasol
You look
plays
like the little guy on the Lakers.
Steve Blake. I
Yeah,
get
that's
that a
who you
lot.
look
Yeah,
like.
that
Yeah, the
hurts.
little one. I'm
It
sorry.
hurts, and it's true.
He's a millionaire.
Is
so
this a
let
faux
it
hawk?
wash over you. Yes.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
faux
that is a
hawk.
faux hawk.
Listen, the faux hawk. I didn't
That is
wanna
a faux hawk, and by the way, this man is
and
not handsome.
I understand that if you have a faux hawk, there's an 80% chance you're a douchebag.
I would
He
say
looks as if
upwards
he's in the middle of sex
97.
and someone stuck their thumb in his ass without warning him first. Utter stark surprise.
I would say it's
Now we're
upwards of
talking.
97%.
It's a Venn diagram, and you get a lot of douchebag into, but at the same time, I kind of feel like there's a chance. How about that? We're looking at Mark Gasol pictures.
Yeah, why are you doing this
He's
visual?
not. I want you to know
game?
he does not look like you, and he's not attractive.
Okay.
You know what? There's a lot of guys that don't have the luxury of having hair. And just a bitch about perfect hairline that he's got here.
I'm not going
Some
to
people
talk about
don't have
fucking.
food,
I'm not
okay?
going to
Some
talk.
people don't eat.
Exactly.
I
There
don't know
are
if you
people
know,
that
it's
can
super
afford
sad.
fucking computer
Super
or
sad.
fucking
Some
do
people
drops.
don't have food every day.
It's
Yeah.
like we've done this twice, but the second time the stakes were so much lower. We're like, women really do. They're stoned. They're straight up. They're killed for. And then think of the bald men.
Think of the bald men.
Think of the
we
bald
gave
men.
it way
Yes, yeah.
more
Women
time.
were raped and killed, or think of guys with no hair.
And you know what? I actually think of you a lot because I remember when you
that's
were
nice.
emceeing at the Laugh Factory, but no, I'll explain why. And the fact that you had a husband.
I think I'm gay.
Became that I give that advice to girls when they're like, I'm moving to LA.
any advice? I go, just say you're married.
Yeah,
for real. Say you're married or say you have a boyfriend.
Instantaneous blockage. Yes, and I think I've told
on stage. You mean?
No.
It's
just like
to keep
I'm not going to fuck you under any circumstances. So don't waste my time or your time.
Right. Waste of everybody's energy. It changes the dynamic in the room of like. It keeps you from being a peer, and even women I know that are single, I'm like, I'm just don't shit where you sleep. Don't do it. Don't do it. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't want to end up in somebody's act. Like, just fuck it. Like, don't. This is your workplace. Don't do it. Go. There's plenty of fucking guys who'll fuck you on the street.
I agree. Moshe loves female comics.
I just love that comic pussy. You know, funny pussy is good pussy.
Man,
Did you bring condoms with you?
Man, I bust a gut.
I bust a nut and I bust a gut. It's the best of both worlds.
The nut all up in them guts. Oh my god.
I don't like that. I'm with you.
Yeah, never.
I don't like seeing. I don't like bumping into people.
Ugh.
Or
it's gonna end badly, and then you got to see this person, or then you can't go back there, or like all of it.
Think about if you fucked like Dane or someone that from back then. You see him fucking constantly.
I just don't believe in building walls around love.
Oh, that's adorable and full of shit. No, I mean I'm trying to think of like what that. Yeah, there's just something about it. Also, unfortunately, like the kind of sexual politics are such that like you couldn't walk in the way like if you and a comic fucked. A dude and a chick comic fucked. The dude could still walk back into the club with that look on his face, and you couldn't. You know what I mean? I mean, you could, but just everybody be thinking about
How long do you think that? How much longer do you think that'll exist?
It's not going to last much longer, but it's still
there. In the world.
In the world forever.
In America.
In America, maybe another 10, 15 years.
Where they're Yeah,
maybe not in the country. In the country forever, but out in the cities, I think already people are kind of past it.
We're talking about just sexual power and gender.
Just like the idea that like, two people fuck in a workplace. That whole thing.
10 to 15 years.
I say 10 to 15 years. It'll be done.
I think that's optimistic.
I do too.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Ejaculate.
Do you have any really good sex stories?
Look at you.
I'm not.
I wouldn't have asked
I'm not
that.
getting off.
We
ask every male.
Because Neal's about love, apparently, and you're about sex. I see
we ask every male. We ask every male we have on this podcast.
And they tell a good sex story
if they have one.
Like explicit, like kiss and
like
tell,
some
or
funny
just,
shit.
Oh, let's see.
Yeah, they are explicit.
Yeah, they can be. They can be funny.
But they're never married. That's why.
That's true. That's fair. Oh, that's fair. I didn't think about that.
Spousal sex is off limits. And I'm trying to think of back into the dark recesses of my mind before I was married, and whether I have any good sex stories. No, I really don't. I mean, I got mine. But 10,
15 years, you're going to be able to say that, and no one's going to judge you for it.
That's right.
Yeah,
right now,
like,
there's a lot of people pull their cars over and they're furious.
They're waiting, or they're mad that I wasn't going to be. Yeah, it's funny. It's like chicks generally are. We talk about sex a lot. But I don't.
Internally.
Yeah, with each other.
No.
Well, how about this? What's the worst, the most like gross thing that's ever happened to you that wasn't sexual? A guy trying to fuck you. You got to have a good one of those.
Oh yeah, a famous guy did something.
Name names.
You don't have to name names.
No.
Oh God, Okay, I'm not going to name this person because they're very, very famous.
But
I went
exclusive.
But I went up to I went to an event. It was like a special like a celebration of this person's work, and they got an award of some kind, and they were there with another girl that I also know, and I hugged them, and in a room full of 100 people said, "My girl want to fuck you so bad."
You mean she was standing there
right there,
and he's hugging
you,
hugging
me,
and she doesn't know that this is like a whispered.
It was whispered, but it wasn't as whispery as he thought it was.
Oof,
like she's totally heard it.
I don't know if she heard it. I think she ignored that it was like too intimate of a hug.
Wow.
And I
and
said,
this is like a big star.
He's huge.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I was pretty.
Man, I'm
was
not
it with his
with
wife
that.
or with his girlfriend?
It's with this girl.
I have a feeling that when you get famous enough, you have so many yes men around you that at a certain level, like the level of whoever this is, you start doing things like that, and people going like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And you're just like, "Everybody's been saying yes to me for so long. I feel like I can."
But also, you expect everything everything you say to be public, kind of, or like.
Well, not just public, but done. I mean, if you spend all day going, I want a Coke, and a Coke shows up, bring me my notebook, turn on this television, pick me up in that golf cart, drive me to dinner.
By midnight, you say, "Girl, I want to fuck you so bad," you expect just naked woman to appear.
I was like, that's nice.
And also, if everyone's making money off you, they're just like, he's crazy.
Yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, he's a crazy motherfucker.
George Clooney, you crazy, or whoever it was.
It wasn't. Definitely not. George. I will tell you something right now. George Clooney is the classiest motherfucker I've ever met. He would never do anything like that. He doesn't have to. And he's fly off of asses when he walks by. He's like the classiest, most disciplined, most kind of cool, unbelievably nice guy. It's definitely not George Clooney.
It reminds we can segue into this or not. That reminded me of a joke on the Oscars that about Ben Affleck, and Ben Affleck didn't take it well.
Which one?
Which I was surprised in the monologue.
He's really easygoing.
There was an Affleck joke about him being the. But he was such an obscure director
I think he took it well. I think he did take it well.
I agree. Actually.
Yeah, I think he took it well.
Oh, I thought he didn't, and I thought he dissed Seth on stage.
No, I actually think he was really he
was trying to make a joke. I
think he was trying to make a joke, and like it was full of adrenaline and pissing himself, and probably
that crowd sucked, and I think it came off like he was mad. That's how I interpreted it.
I thought that joke was lame. It didn't really make any sense.
I loved it. I loved the joke. I thought, I just loved it because, I mean, not that it's a joke that I would tell, but I loved that, how did you guys feel generally about how Seth did?
I read this article today that I thought was really intriguing, which was the title of it was "Never Have."
I mean, Sean. What's his first name?
Seth.
Yeah, Seth.
It is Seth. I just fucking. I can't
the title was "Never Have People Been So Offended Over So Little."
Yes.
And it's like like increasing speed and velocity, where the outrage is.
That's the name of the game, man.
The outrage is getting disproportionately large compared to the offense. Which is,
but it's also
Seth MacFarlane does a boob song, and
I love the fucking boob song,
and everybody's crying out about the depths of misogyny and anti-Semitism.
But that's the name of the game. It's everyone's trying to out-blog each other. I noticed this a long time ago.
It's a machine.
You may have noticed this at school, at like a good school. When I hung out with Harvard people, I noticed that they would try to have the biggest opinion, the quickest,
the most extreme, like the most heartfelt, the most deeply
defensible that they could argue. And I find that
like a forensics class, like who's going to be able to argue the most extreme opinion?
And I noticed that a long time ago, and now the
internet
is like that. That's the internet.
When someone's like, "Shame on you, shame on you, you need to apologize to women everywhere." The joke, that fucking boob song. I'll tell you what, I was delighted by that telecast. I loved that it was edgy enough to not be boring, but not so edgy to make people squirm. I love when he threw that bottle of booze at George Clooney and George was like, "Fuck you, I'll drink this." Like I thought it was just, and I thought those were peers in the room, so generally they laughed at his jokes.
It felt like
Well, what's funny is he's richer than all of them.
Oh yeah, exactly.
It felt like the outrage was just people. It didn't even feel like they were outraged.
No,
it
in the
felt
room,
like they were just like doing trying on a suit of outrage.
I just thought he just ate. I just thought he ate old-fashioned shit.
It was whatever. It wasn't.
But who's been better? Who has been better? And I'm not talking about like Billy Crystal dancing around like fucking Busby Berkeley, revival. But like who's genuinely, legitimately been better?
Chris wasn't.
Chris
great.
bombed. He ate it the whole time.
Yeah.
Chris wasn't great.
It's not a good crowd.
Steve Martin and Alec Baldwin were good.
All right,
they had some good jokes.
That's fair.
I think just go out and do. Andy Samberg did the IFC Awards, and his monologue was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, but also his IFC.
Yeah, but exactly. Seth could have taken 80% of those jokes and done them on the Oscars.
I disagree. I think you're overestimating how
about
horrible
Amy
the crowd
and Tina?
was.
Yeah. Amy and Tina.
No, but there's something particular.
They did a great job at the Globes.
But it's doable.
There's something particular about the Oscars that is rougher.
It is so pretentious. It is such a pretentious group of people. It takes themselves so seriously. I don't think Tina and Amy could have done what they did at the Globes at the Oscars. We think they can, but I don't think when they were in there trying to sell that. Yeah. Everyone's drunk at the Globes. You know what I mean? It's pretentious fucking bullshit.
No, I agree. I think that I believe that Amy and Tina could have. I believe that with that monologue they could have done great.
Seth called it the Kobayashi Maru of hosting. You know what that is? It's a Star Trek reference that like at the Academy there's a test that you take. There's no way to win.
No way to win.
You die. The only way to get through it is that you blow up.
Right.
And the only person who ever passed the Kobayashi Maru test was James Tiberius Kirk.
Was it? I thought it was Captain Picard.
Was it Picard?
I would know this, but I was too busy getting pussy.
Hey, sticking my dick in other people. What?
Call people.
Pussy. Okay.
Seth MacFarlane.
The old Kobayashi Maru.
So I've given her the old Kobayashi Maru, if you know what I mean. By which I mean when I fuck her, there's no way out of it but dying.
All hands on dick.
What about on the boob song? My friend on a Facebook was offended that one of the references was a rape scene from a movie.
A couple of them were rapey.
Who gives a shit?
He referred to.
I'm just saying,
Jodie Foster and Boys Don't Cry.
And no, it wasn't Was it Boys Don't Cry? It was Jodie Foster and
Jodie Foster and The Accused.
The Accused, and then Boys Don't Cry. You know. Good fucking God. Who cares?
Well, no, that's the people are. I mean, it's such a fucking obvious hacky point, but people are upset about Seth MacFarlane and fine with Syria.
Right.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
They're
They're fine with it.
Yes, fine with people being gunned down in the street.
Or even, that's hard.
I can't do anything about that.
That argument I had before, which was making fun of Kim Kardashian or believing that you have an opinion about this shit is it's not a sign of intelligence.
Right.
It's a fucking sign. It's junk food.
But the internet is a gaping hole that must be fed at all times.
Well, Neal can do it while we're talking about Star Trek.
Yeah, with his dick.
With my dick.
Well, I mean, the best tweet I saw that Seth had retweeted was basically somebody saying, "Oh, I'm very upset about the misogyny in Seth MacFarlane's monologue." And here, on to the worst dressed women at the Oscars. It's like that's where the real sexism is in the whole societal kind of crush of like sexualizing women. It's not in some guy's 5-minute joke.
The boob song, I would have had no problem with it. They just did it the way he does shit on his show, which is an 8-second cutaway.
Right.
I liked it. I liked it when the gay choir came out and fucking orchestrated like a little orchestral rendition about it. It was a dumb joke where he got to say boobs on network television 20 times, which I delighted in.
Yeah. I did a tweet after all that said it's not that we don't think that the sexist jokes were sexist, it's that they think they were jokes.
Yes.
And someone wrote me back like, typical white man. Easy for a white man to say. And I thought to myself, the annoying ADL is upset about fucking that made me more mad than anything when the ADL came out about Ted saying anti-Semitic jokes.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I was going to ask about how you reacted because I again thought that was so funny.
It was
the
funny.
Anti-Defamation League is what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's just not only was it funny, it's just like how pathetic do we want to appear in the media that we can't take a joke coming out of a talking teddy bear?
I want to shoot a sketch that's basically like a firehouse for first reactors.
Oh, that's really funny.
People that are just like, what happened? Go. The bell rings and they slide down.
They don't even know. Where are we going?
Where do we go? I'm not that outraged about this. No, you gotta fucking get outraged.
Well, Abe Foxman from the ADL would be the chief of that fire department.
It's like you can't have a sense of humor about anything. You can't.
Right.
People, it's this bitch ass gotcha culture. People think it's a sign of intelligence
to be offended.
To be offended.
Yeah.
Whereas in fact it's actually the opposite.
Else.
Actually, it's the opposite.
Yes,
you're not smart enough to realize the nuance of what's happening.
Right.
It's just a joke.
Yes.
I made a lot of reach around jokes about taking that teddy bear to fucking orgy and how it'd be like the only pillow that would give you a reach around. I was enjoying the whole thing.
It was fun.
I liked how dirty the show was.
Yeah.
I
but also classy.
Classy and dirty at the same time.
What was classy about it?
Like old kind of Hollywood, dancing, Fred Astaire kind of
stuff. When fucking Bill Shatner said that Seth was gonna come out in 15 years, like that shit was hilarious to me. And Tommy Lee Jones laughed, and no one can ever get that old fucking coot to laugh. Jesus Christ, he's dead inside.
Yeah, like jokes like that were funny, and I thought he should have just done a lot of those.
Yeah.
But I saw your boobs and mixing up Denzel and Eddie was. I fucking hate when white people do jokes like that. It's just like so fucking shitty.
And dead. Yeah.
It's just jokes that work on the Family Guy that don't work for a live audience.
Right.
You weren't a fan, right?
Of Seth?
Of Seth's hosting. You thought it was bad.
I didn't think it was good. Because it's a guy who doesn't deal with audiences enough.
He's not a stand-up.
And that's maybe my own prejudice of it's like Amy and Tina deal with fucking
live audiences.
Why did Chris eat it?
Oh, Chris ate it because he just went too mean.
Here's the thing about Chris, obviously, is like an incredibly talented person. I mean, you can't take away the fact that he's a monster fucking performer.
Yeah.
But I do feel like something that Chris does well is drill a set until it's perfect.
Yeah.
And I don't think he drilled that night to get it perfect. I feel like I've seen Chris work out.
Yeah.
He's a totally different performer.
Yeah.
When he goes up on stage, there are some guys who go up with a notebook, and even though the jokes are unformed and they still destroy, I feel like Chris has like workout Chris and performance Chris and workout Chris, and they're two different guys.
He squints and whispers when he's trying out jokes.
And I feel like we were seeing him work out, which is all he can do, because on that night you're writing all day, and jokes that were in the show at 3 are gone at 5, and so then some guys relax into that, and some guys get more tense. And I feel like Chris was tense.
I just thought he was too mean. That was my feeling. It's like he told somebody that was the tone he was trying to hit.
Is to be mean?
Yeah.
He probably thought, I don't give a fuck. It's not going to hurt me one way or the other how this night goes.
Did you guys...
Because that shit about fucking weight, he had jokes. I still remember that joke about Jude Law. It's a fucking great joke. It's just really mean.
Yeah, it's just too mean for their...
It was, he was just talking about, like, why the fuck are you putting Jude Law in all these movies? Wait for Tom Cruise. He's like, just wait. It's a fucking great joke in the worst room to do that.
It's a great
and then Sean Penn came out like, Jude Law is one of the greatest
actors of all. I mean, because it's such a pretentious group of people.
Yeah, right.
I mean, the one thing that Seth did well, maybe not well, but properly, was to make fun of himself quite a bit.
Right.
And I think that's the only way you win in that room, is to make sure that if you're fucking with other people, you fuck with yourself just as much. And I thought that was well played. He
did, but it didn't. I like the spirit of it, but I thought the execution of it was too ham-fisted, where it was like, we're going to go to the future, where William Shatner's going to come, and then he's going to show me.
It was clunky, but I
William
still thought
Shatner,
it was cute.
who's famous for television, is going to come on, and he's going to show us video from tomorrow.
Clearly, you have not seen the series of Star Trek films that were filmed.
Clearly, but he's not exactly like cinema's.
I think also he played maybe to his own audience of nerds.
Yeah.
Which
what joke I thought was great that I wish they'd done more of was like that Sound of Music joke.
I loved that, but that was too non sequitur for that room.
I agree,
it made
but
no
if
sense.
he had kept doing shit like that, then I'm on board. Then I'm like, okay, these are good jokes that are just not in the. But I thought the jokes he used just weren't great jokes.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was fine. I couldn't.
And the guys who wrote for him were like Alex Sulkin and fucking great writers.
Right. Well,
Julius Sharp and like really good writers.
Well, speaking of hosting,
oh yeah,
are you excited about this job?
I am. Now that it's real, I feel a little nervous, but I love improv. I've done a lot of improv and sketch, and I also love an environment where it's incumbent upon me to try to be funny in the moment. Like, I used to love doing radio when I was a baby comic, because I was like, I'm going to go in this room and I have to spend 2 hours trying to figure out how to be funny without doing my act. Like, that's my favorite thing to do.
Too, yeah.
So I'm stoked for that. I'm probably going to curse, and that's going to be my big thing, is to not curse.
But that'd be cool. That'll be your thing.
But I do TV every day.
You'll be the edgy Drew Carey.
Yeah, wouldn't that be fun? And also the Drew Carey with breasts.
I have a question that you may consider controversial. I have a theory about Showbiz. Do you consider hosting the Chew?
No, it's adorable. The Talk.
The Talk. Sorry,
that's okay.
The Talk.
Is the Chew even? What is it?
It is actually a show.
What?
Despite having probably the worst name
premise.
in the history.
The Chew.
No, totally different. The Chew is like a group of chefs, and then they cook.
Oh, well, I've never watched
The View.
Right.
Yeah, you're thinking of The View. That's similar.
Is there a pneumatic for us to be able to remember all of these different shows?
I'll be thinking.
I don't know. The View is about looking at shit. The Talk's about talking about shit. The Chew's about eating shit, chewing on shit.
I think Doug has the pneumatic.
I be thinking.
Also, by the way, it's not pneumatic.
I know it's
mnemonic.
Yeah, mnemonic.
Pneumatic is like a tire or large boobs.
Get out of here,
I know it was wrong.
nerd.
I knew it was wrong.
You're the one with glasses.
Okay, do you consider being one of the hosts of the Talk and being the host of Whose Line Is It Anyway? Actual work.
Good question.
Really good question. Well, if you're asking me if I find them to be difficult, no.
Right.
Like I'm this is 100% absolutely genuine. I love doing the Talk. I didn't know that I would when I took the job.
Yeah.
Because it's not a comedy first environment?
No, it's not a comedy first environment, and I was worried because it was daytime that I'd have to censor myself, and I couldn't be myself fully, and it took me a long time to get comfortable with who I was and not apologize for it, and I didn't want to go step backwards, but I was assured that I could be myself on the show, and I am. Now, I'm not able to drop an F-bomb every 3 minutes, but essentially I'm able to say whatever I want.
But an N-bomb.
An N-bomb, of course, because everybody likes that every once in a while. And the other reason why I would say it's not work is because I just get to go out there and give my opinion. You
that's
know what
I mean. That's
and
what
then
I did the pilot. I did a Fox pilot short, whatever, and. Again, I had the same experience of the fact that people get famous for acting is so fucking weird. And I'm good in the show. I'm not there.
Is not easy.
Huh?
Acting's not easy.
Acting is a lot harder than what I do.
No, I agree, but it's still not hard.
Well, it's not like you're digging a fucking like in a mine,
it's not
but
hard.
What do you mean by hard?
Neither is stand up.
It takes focus.
I mean, comparatively.
Nothing's
no, but I think
hard,
stand up is hard.
I mean, I'm technically stand up is incredibly difficult. It's a skill that even if you're it's like being a fucking Olympic sprinter. Just because you were born a fast runner, doesn't mean you're going to make the Olympics. Same thing if you're born a funny kid. Oh, everyone tells me I'm funny. Fuck you. It takes 20 years. Like it's going to take everybody else
Whereas
20 years.
you can be an actor, like they can meet you at the mall, put you in a movie, and you can be good in a movie with zero work.
But you've seen comics, and I'm not going to name any, who are marginally talented, have a 5-minute set or a hook or something they do on stage that propels them way past where they should be in terms of the amount of time they put in and the ability. Richard Pryor. And so I think that happens in almost any business. I guess my point is to be a good actor, to be a truly transcendent actor is very, very difficult work.
I agree. Well, no, I agree. Like there are Daniel Day-Lewis, and then there's everybody else. Like
I actually don't think he's a good actor.
Yeah,
that's fine.
It's just that
I don't think Stevie Wonder's a good singer.
No, nor do I.
I could grow a
Finally,
beard.
we're together.
I don't think he's good.
I'm glad you guys are back on the racist tip.
No, but I don't. But the idea of like I don't consider this work. Imagine if we were being televised.
I understand what you're saying.
Good, because you're not being paid.
No, yeah, exactly.
The only reason that this is work or whatever, it is easy, except that it's
and it's also fun and
but
interesting.
not everybody can do it well, though.
Exactly.
Not everybody can do this well.
Not everyone can do it. Period. Most people would just clam up.
Think of how many, like, you know how iTunes does the thing where like you'll be looking at someone's podcast and it'll like show you what other people
listen to,
and I'll like every once in a while I don't when I was first doing my show I listened to a lot of other podcasts mainly to like understand it and also to make sure I wasn't like my shit felt different to me.
Right.
And now I don't have any fucking time to listen to podcasts anyway, except for my friends every once in a while. But like, I was looking at one and I was like, oh, I know this person. And I clicked through on their show and I'm like, why the fuck is iTunes pointing me to a podcast that someone did 3 episodes of 2 years ago?
Uh-huh.
And that's probably, I mean, I would say 99% of the podcasts on there are stubs.
Oh, interesting.
Somebody did one for 6 months. Andy Dick did one for 9. It's fucking. This is hard work, and it's not just this part of it.
The hardest part is
it's everything before and after. It's
the
finding guests, getting the show posted, promoting it.
Yeah.
And look, I mean, like you said, the question you had was like, do I think that doing the talk and doing Whose Line is work? Everything that got me to the point where I was somebody who people were going to be. Yeah, that was all work. Yes. That was all work. Showing up every day and talking for an hour is not work.
Right.
I feel super grateful to have the job, and I know I'm lucky. But everything else I do outside of the show is also work. Like, I still get out and I grind it out on the road. I make my podcast myself. I don't have an engineer. I don't have anybody. I built the website. I do everything because to me, what makes my life interesting is feeling creatively challenged and making shit that people like. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I don't do it to please people. I don't think like, I hope people like this, but I make shit I like and put it out there and hopefully people enjoy it. When I'm dead, I want to look back and be like, look at all the shit I made. Not look at all the money I made, although money's fucking awesome, buys you a lot of dick, but look at all the shit I made.
You mean as a ghost?
As a yes, when I'm a ghost, when I'm in Black Heaven.
Oh, they got a Black Heaven?
With Dave and Chris. Look back.
Does Neal go?
Neal can visit, but he can't stay.
I'm going to write for it.
He's gonna.
Do you ever get to go to Good Heaven?
Black Heaven is good heaven, my friend.
There's 3. There's 3 heavens: White Heaven, Black Heaven,
and Good Heaven,
and Great Heaven.
Great Heaven. I want to just be able to look back and see, like, I don't want it to just be about, I don't know, like whether people looked at what I said, like, look, they're famous. I just want to make good shit. I just want to be proud of the shit I made. That's all. That's the thing I care about the most.
What do you think of legacy? Because I argued this with Amir. I don't know if it was on.
This is totally a male concept too, like the idea of legacy.
Is it true?
I think about legacy all the time, but it's just because I think like a guy.
Right.
But
you
yeah,
are like a dude.
It's disturbing. But I think about it constantly, and it's a little pompous. I think when you, but I do think your immortality comes out of what you left behind. You know what I mean?
But I don't think it does.
I don't either.
I had this argument with Amir one time. He said something about, like, I just want to.
Amir Questlove Thompson.
I said something about He's like, I just want people to remember me. I go, so even in death, you're going to be insecure. Like,
if you
what do you give a shit if people remember you?
But that's like the driving element of human existence. Is like, what did I leave behind? What mark did I make? Because the fact of the matter is, we all are going to turn to dust, and we all will be forgotten.
Well, all you have to do is walk down Hollywood Boulevard and look at the stars on there.
Look at the homeless guy urinating on a star.
I'm just saying to see how much immortality you get from fame, because I recognize every fifth name.
See, but then I agree with you. But
they weren't talented enough.
Yeah, well, they were, and they just had money to buy a star. But that's my point. I'm not talking about fame. I'm not talking about fame. I'm talking about a body of work. I think those are two different things.
But I'm just saying, John, Bones Hinckley or whatever that you're walking.
Come on, man! Don't fucking talk.
About Bones. I'm just saying, it's like you're walking down the street, you're looking at these people that were ostensibly very famous in their era. Nobody remembers them. Nobody knows their body of work.
But even somebody, I was talking the other day about how funny Groucho Marx is.
Sure,
he's just as dead.
Yeah, that's true.
He's extremely dead.
Well, like, okay, so what about? I'm sure there are people to whom Richard Pryor looked up to. Let's just talk about Pryor. Pryor inspired, Eddie inspired Chris, inspired the other Chris, inspired. I mean that's
everybody.
Yeah, that's a legacy that's meaningful, even if it is going to fade, because everything fades because the human existence is fucking ephemeral. I agree. It's pompous and pretentious and it's self-involved.
It's not even that. I'm not even commenting.
I just had a thought that's not racial.
What?
What?
Richard Pryor. What you can hope for is, if you're Richard Pryor, if you're anybody, an immortal, George Carlin, you don't live on, but the standard you set does, so the world is a little bit better.
Yeah, and like now this is something super pretentious and pompous, but like people. I just make a stupid show. I just make a stupid free fucking podcast, whatever. And it's not a show where you're supposed to like get uplifted or learn shit. I just talk to people. But I've had people write in, and I'm not joking, and this sounds super self-involved, and feel free to like spit on your devices at home. I've had people write in and say, I had my girlfriend.
You mean their dicks?
Well,
yeah,
right? Exactly. Absolutely. If you're not masturbating by now, I haven't done my job.
I am. Don't worry.
God,
you just can't see under the table.
Magical. People write in and say, like, I was really depressed last year. My girlfriend told me I was on the verge of suicide, and your show got me through it.
Yeah.
Or I had a guy say.
Now I'm masturbating. Go ahead.
Thank you. I had a guy say my mom was going through chemo, and we listened to your podcast. And it was like a thing that we shared together. And when she died, I mean, it was one of the last things we did together. I'm just making a stupid fucking podcast, and I never ever intended or thought, or in my wildest dreams would have thought somebody would have used what I do that way. And yeah, those people are going to die, and I'm going to die too. But maybe the legacy isn't just about the body of work you leave behind; it's how you affect the people while you're here.
Yeah,
even that I find unfathomable. Meaning, when people go, when someone go, I heard the champs, I'm always like, how?
Like, who's listening
how
to
did
the
you
show?
hear it? Or I saw
how did you get the show?
We'd watch it all the time. I'm like, how? It's impossible.
Well, so then why do you get up and go to work every day? Like, what is your...
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
And I do believe that people see it.
But you can't possibly like it every day. There's times when you go to work and you fucking hate it. You have to hate it. You have to writing for a show where the network needs shit from you, and the talent's out of their fucking mind.
Neal doesn't work anymore.
He doesn't go to work. Retired.
Oh, fuck
so
you.
It doesn't matter.
You and your kettlebells and your fucking haircut.
I just work out, fucking think about my hair.
No, I think, like, I was saying to my brother once we were talking about this, like, the only people you remember, really, even among famous people, that Groucho Marx, we'll forget about Groucho Marx in 100 years. It's like
we'll
Gandhi.
Forget about George Washington in 100 years.
You remember the fucking tyrants, Pol Pot, Hitler, Stalin.
Yeah.
But even that kind of becomes a joke. Like, you know how sensitive people are about Hitler? I mean, me included.
Right.
Think about,
why would you be sensitive about Hitler?
But think about Attila the Hun. People, that's like a joke. You're a real Attila the Hun.
Right. He was like a terrible. He ate human livers.
He killed like 80 million people. And he's a punchline now. So it's like none of it.
And that was proportionally. That was like he killed almost everybody.
Yeah, exactly. There were only 80 million people.
He killed almost everybody, and now you go to a strip mall in Omaha, Nebraska, and you can eat at Attila the Hun's Mongolian wok.
Yeah, yeah, seriously. They got
a dynamite buffet.
I don't know why we're spitting down this spiraling hole of existential fucking doom.
No, but I don't.
Seriously,
I guess it's like the
what's the point of anything?
What about guys?
Point of living?
What about guys that are bald? What about them?
What about guys?
No,
but I guess
I don't know. If you said guys without testicles, I would say that's super fucking sad.
I guess the thing about legacy, I just don't care.
You don't care.
I just don't. I would like to do stuff that I enjoy, that is popular and good, and I make it with people that I like.
Do you ever think about the end user? Do you ever think about how it's going to be consumed?
No, I don't think. Oh, you know what? I do. There are bigger. I think the bigger message of this show is black people and white people should get along better.
Oh, that's adorable.
No, I'm not even fucking around.
That's sweet.
Moshe
doesn't agree. Actually,
no,
he doesn't want to get along.
I mean, I get along with great black people.
Yeah, but not the other ones.
Get along?
Black people
and also ones with funny pussies. He likes those ones as well.
Can we all get along?
I feel terrible about him.
if you there is in with Chappelle too. It's a bigger message of if you just know each other, if you just get access,
right.
Basically, most of the dumb shit falls away.
Yeah. It's like the real question is what is it that drives the person that's hungry for show business? Because this is not the best way to change the world, for sure. It's not. What is it? Is it just ego?
Daddy drank.
Daddy Dranky?
I wish that I could look back and say that I had some deep psychological scars that drive me, but none. Other than maybe just being kind of like a social pariah.
I don't mean like a
pariah. You think so?
Yeah, I think there was a period of
I think it was more of a butterfly.
That's adorable. No, I mean I think there was a period where I was a pariah when I was young. Well, in my formative years, I was definitely pariah.
I think of you as like a moth.
Thank you. That's not as good as a butterfly.
Who would you want to be seeing this? As the great Dave Chappelle says, who is your gooch?
Ooh, I don't know what that means.
The gooch from Different Strokes.
Oh, okay.
The gooch was the invisible bully.
Like who? From my childhood?
Yeah.
Picture me, as the great Tupac said, picture me rolling.
Yeah, or Biggie said invisible gooch.
You guys know a lot more about
invisible
black people
bully.
Than I do. Honestly, I don't care anymore because everything that happened to me then made me who I am now.
What propelled you? Who got you?
I don't care.
Who helped you build the talent that now you don't have to work?
What do you mean? Like mentors? Mentorship?
That you when you really were working?
I don't have any revenge
what was
fantasies.
driving you?
I don't have any. No, just I'm a type of personality who needs to win.
That's what I. Okay,
yes.
that's what I.
I'm a type of personality who needs to win. But I've always been super bookish, straight A student.
You'd be the same if you were a lawyer or a doctor. I feel the same way about Whitney Cummings. She'd be. Sure. She's just type A. Doesn't matter what it is. She just has to win.
So, and it's gone from having to win now to I just want to be excellent. I want everything I do to be excellent. I work so hard, and some of it's for no money. So then my motivation is did I do something excellent today? Did I make something fucking great? And that's super pompous too, because you're like, I'm so fucking awesome. But I want to just. It's probably say I just want to do good shit. I'm at a point in my life where I don't have to work with people I don't like, and I don't fuck with people who are assholes, and I'm trying to create an environment now where I can help other people. There were people that helped me, and so if I can, I help baby comics, I give advice. I mean, there were people who reached out, so I try to do that too. And then beyond that, just coke and horse, really.
Baby comics?
You mean tall, slender,
baby-faced,
fully
comics.
Round, beautiful, black.
Guys, you know what? You know what's great about podcasting? These things are going to last forever.
That's right.
So we're going to remember
is our mark on history.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the Aisha Tyler episode.
Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Awesome. You guys are great.
You know what,
great.
Aisha? I hope you learned something. You can take any part of this you want. If you want to repurpose this stuff, put it on your podcast. Whatever you want to do.
Just know this: you're great.
Aww.
Now you're fucking with the